Welcome. In front of me is a Motorola Moto G200 5G, and today I'll go over unboxing and also a little quick overview of this device. So anyway, let's get started. I will mention that this is basically the flagship of Motorola, which I don't remember when I last time had a flagship from them. So let's just quickly open it up. Now, to be fair, this is a flagship device, and unboxing of it literally hasn't changed a bit from their budget lineup. This is a budget next to it, and this is a flagship. Do you feel like you just bought a flagship? Because I don't. Now, I will be fair about it. It is a flagship, but it costs about $400. So yeah, that's actually surprising. Anyway, let's just pop it open and quickly get into the device. Here we get the phone with this weird camera bump, like a wedge. Anyway, just gonna set it to the side. We got a paperwork, so throw that to the side. We got Type C to Type A charging cable. Then we got a charger. Okay, this actually seems like it's a bit more capable charger. Oh damn, it's a 33 watt charger. I can't actually complain here. Thanks, that is actually good. Anyway, let's power on the device and also peel this annoying thing off. Here we go. So, while starting on, I'm going to quickly go over specs. We are looking at 6.8 inch display. It's a 1080p by 2460 pixels, and it is a LCD display, which I'm completely fine with it because it is boasting a 144 Hz refresh rate, and additionally it has HDR10, though HDR10 isn't necessarily any certification. Virtually any company I think can slap it. HDR10 Plus is the actual certification, which needs to meet some kind of standards. So just for the people that need to know this, at least that's I think how it is. Anyway, we're looking also at 86.5% screen to body ratio, so I'm gonna quickly take this off just so you can see that. So there we go. That is kind of how the screen looks like. Can make it brighter most likely. Oh no, I can't. That is almost max brightness. Oh, well, this is the max brightness. It is overcapping a little bit, overexposing right now, but it doesn't get too bright. So that's a little bit of a negative here. And this camera wedge actually proceeds right here as well, as you can see. That is the weirdest camera bump I have seen. But yeah, going back to the screen, like I mentioned, 86.5% screen to body ratio and 395 pixels per inch. We also have a power button, or power slash fingerprint button on the side right here, so you can add a fingerprint sensor. Sadly, there isn't one under display, which I would prefer to see. And on the back, if we flip it over, we have the triple camera setup with this literal wedge shape. And those cameras are 108 megapixel wide sensor, 8 megapixel ultra wide, and 2 megapixel depth. Oh my god, I can't. Literally, they went with 108 megapixel main shooter and then added a trash lens for depth at 2 megapixels. Why? Literally, why? Just make it 2 cameras. It doesn't look that great with 3 anyway, especially in this wedge shape. So, questionable decisions here, as I would expect from Motorola. And yeah, let's keep on going. So I'm gonna unlock it. So in terms of specs, we are looking at the best processor on the market right now, which is the Snapdragon 888 Plus. It's a 5G chipset, obviously. And we are looking at 5000 mAh battery, whopping 5000 in here. And the 33 watt charger, which should top out the device fairly quickly. And in terms of storage and RAM, we have 8 GB RAM with 128 gigs or 256. And both of them, both of the options, have a UFS 3.1 storage. The reason why I say both of them is because I did encounter devices that have 2 different storage versions. So for instance, 128 and 256, and 128 for instance came out with 2.2 UFS storage, while the 256 had 3.1. So I usually add the like both storages, just so it's clear that you get the same thing no matter what which one you pick here. Now let me quickly grab my SIM eject tool, and I'm gonna pop out the tray if I can actually find it. Where is it? At the bottom. And this is just a dual SIM tray. So if you need more than 128 gigs of storage, do go with the higher spec version, because you cannot expand it higher afterwards, which is a little bit of a shame. And lastly, the front facing camera is a 16 megapixel sensor, so just a mediocre camera. Anyway, I'm gonna quickly just take a photo of the plant, see how well it does with that 108 megapixel sensor. Okay, there we go. Needed to finish the guide right here. Now this is the probably one that downscales it, so I'm gonna go with the full one if I can find it. Am I blind? Oh, there we go. Ultra res. There we go. And there's one little additional thing that I want to try, which is the portrait. Okay, so here we get the portrait, first one. I'm just gonna make it a close-up. Oops, I just closed it. So here is the portrait, which I honestly cannot complain. Let me do one additional photo for it, because I want to make sure about one thing. That might be hard. Okay. And there we go, found it. So here we get the problem with the 2 megapixel depth sensor. I specifically wanted to get it from this perspective, just so you can see the background in the back. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, look at the needles. They are so blurred out that they completely disappear. Those needles are a little bit longer than it is right here shown. As you can see, they stick out way further on the sides. They should do that same thing right here, but because the 2 megapixel depth sensor, especially in not macro, but portrait modes, tries to use that sensor as well for the fake bokeh effect, it results in trash like this. That's why this sensor is completely and utterly useless. It's absolute garbage. So don't ever use portrait with this, because if you look at the actual photos right here, this already did a fairly good bokeh effect. You don't need the actual portrait for this. The only thing that will result in is an actual trash photo, because the phone tries to fake a bokeh effect using that absolute horrendous sensor. Now here we got, I believe this is the 108 megapixel photo, because, yep, so that is the 108 megapixel. So as you can see, it's fairly detailed. You can get really close up into it, and it is looking really sharp. Now the first one is just a typical normal sensor, and again, it looks okay. Now one thing that I can tell right now, the color of the shot itself, it's a little bit off. It is way too saturated. So the plant, if you look at it, has like this kind of a reddish tint to it, which it does not have it right here actually. This could be based on the actual warm light that is shining like right here. But still, I see this more greenish rather than in this kind of reddish tone. So that is something to keep in mind, that it does not have the greatest color reproduction here. But anyway, finishing this off for 400 euros, or 450 more exactly, this phone is pretty damn good. Specifically for the processor, it is running the top of the line Snapdragon, so I can't really complain here. There is nothing better in terms of processor out there, and you also get the 144 Hz display. Honestly, that's all I would ask from a phone. I don't need any more. The cameras obviously are not the main focus of this device, though if you just plan to use the main sensor, it's okay. I don't have any complaints about it. But yeah, the majority of the price in here is for the processor and the screen. And for that, it is doing whatever it's supposed to do. And it's a decent device for that price. Probably one of the best ones that you can find. So if you're planning to pick one up, this is a really good price for this kind of feature set here. So yeah, highly recommend it. Anyway, if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.